Hi guys. Um Dito na naman tayo sa another video. I'm so tired. Charing. Pero yun nga. Welcome to chapter 3. This time we're diving into something very interesting. Natural law. So when we hear the word natural, minsan positive agad yung dating, no? Like natural beauty, natural food, natural talent. So parang automatic good siya. But what happens when people start using the word natural to judge morality? Like, ay, bawal yan kasi unnatural. Sa ethics, we don't just accept statements like that. We question them. We analyze them. Kaya ngayon, pag-uusapan natin where that idea of natural being good or bad comes from and how thinkers like Thomas Aquinas, Plato, and Aristotle, I think narinig nyo na sila many times, no? During your journey sa pag-aaral. Again, thinkers like Thomas Aquinas, Plato, and Aristotle help us make sense of morality based on reason and purpose. So, let's go. Let's start with, have you ever heard people say something like, that's natural, and you say that as a reason to say it's wrong? I mean, that's not natural. Like in the news, no? Article example sa say for example, people were saying that seeing two men kiss is unsightly or irregular. Others were calling same-sex relationships unnatural. So ang tanong, is being unnatural always bad, or more importantly, who defines what is natural? This is a common move in society, no? We assume that if something is natural, it's okay. And if it's unnatural, it's wrong. Meron ngang famous na linya si Bob Ong. I don't know if kilala si Bob Ong. Sabi niya, kadalasan, ang normal ay naihahambing natin sa salitang tama. Kaya naman pag may nag-iisip ng or gumagawa ng kakaiba, iniisip na natin agad na mali. Well, in ethics, that's too simplistic kasi minsan, what people call natural is based on their personal bias lang, tradition or religion, not the reason. So ethics challenges us to go deeper. Why is something good? Why is something bad? Hindi sapat yung, kasi hindi natural eh. Hindi ganun yun. And that brings us to someone who really tried to explain all this. Thomas Aquinas. Now, si Thomas Aquinas po, isa siya sa pinaka-importanting philosophers and theologians sa Christian history. He lived in the 13th century, pero hanggang ngayon, no, ang mga ideas niya is ginagamit pa rin in Catholic moral teachings. And at the heart of his work is one big idea, which is, we are created by God daw, and our ultimate goal is to return to Him. Para kay Aquinas, lahat ng ginagawa natin, every choice, every habit, dapat naka-align sa goal na ito. Now, divided into 3 parts ang work niya. The first one is about God, no? Una, he explains that we can never fully understand God kasi human lang tayo. But through reason, we can know a few things like that God is good, powerful, and creative. Second, about human life. Aquinas talks about us, people. Sabi niya, ang buhay natin revolves around a single thing, pursuit of happiness. Pero reminder niya, we won't find true happiness in money, power, or pleasure because true happiness daw is in God alone. And then the third one, about salvation. Finally, he says that salvation isn't something we can earn on your own. We need grace, and that grace is shown perfectly through Jesus Christ daw. So basically, si Aquinas sees life as a journey mula sa creation papunta sa creator through moral living and faith. Pero paano tayo magde-decide kung ano ang moral living? That's where natural law comes in. For Aquinas, ethics isn't just about isolated actions. It's about who you are becoming. So every action you do, either builds a good habit, like yung virtue, or a bad habit, which is yung vice. Halimbawa, kapag may temptation ka, mangopya sa quiz and pinili mong wag gawin, that builds honesty. Kapag lagi mong iniisip sarili mong benefit lang, you build selfishness. So, sabi ni Aquinas, ang Christian life ay hindi lang basta pagsunod sa utos. It's a process of becoming the kind of person who always chooses the good. But, the idea of good daw, it shouldn't just come from opinion. Dapat may objective basis. And that's why reason and natural law are so important daw. Here's the cool part. Aquinas didn't invent these ideas from scratch. He was influenced by two ancient Greek philosophers, Plato and Aristotle. So, let's start with Plato. Si Plato, he asked big questions like, why be good? Can't I just decide for myself what's good? Ang sagot niya, goodness is real. Hindi lang siya opinion. Hindi lang siya agreement ng society. Dahil para kay Plato, there is such a thing as objective good and it exists beyond human feelings or trends. Now, si Aristotle, he was more practical. No? He was more practical. He explained how things exist and change. And he gave us the famous 4 causes to explain how and why things are the way they are. So, the first one is yung material cause. What it's made of. Example, physical substance. Was it made of wood, flesh, metal? Formal cause. It's form or structure, like shape or form of being, no? For example, yung design of a chair or a cat. Next is yung efficient cause. What made it? Or who made it? Is it the carpenter? The parent? Or what? Next is yung final cause. It's the purpose or goal. It's the end or a purpose of a being. So for Aristotle and Aquinas, every being has a purpose. So even as humans, we are not random. We were made for something. Hindi ko alam kung nagigets nyo pa, no? Pero ganun siya eh. Ganun talaga yung gusto niyang sabihin. Well, now let's go back to Aquinas and how he defines law. Sabi niya, as rational beings, we have free will. And the ability to choose. No? Pero syempre, not all choices are good. Kaya ang tanong, how do we know what's truly good for us and others? Aquinas says that law is the proper measure of human acts. Hindi lang siya listahan ng bawal. Law is about helping us direct our actions toward our good and the good of others. So, example, no? Gusto mong yumaman. Okay yan. But if you hurt others, that's not a moral way to pursue your goal. No? Wala mga corrupt politicians dyan. So, a just law helps you pursue your goal in a way that respect others. Napaka-important ng law, no? And the point is, our actions must be guided not just by desire, but by a reason and the greater good. And that's what makes a law moral. The eternal law. Finally, Aquinas introduces a big concept po, which is the eternal law. Sabi niya, God created everything with wisdom. So, lahat daw po ng creatures, lahat ng movements in the universe, all of them are governed by God's reason. And that's what we call eternal law. It's like the master plan of the Creator. It's invisible, pero it governs everything. Like the seasons, the growth of plants, gravity, and how we are meant to act as humans. So when we act according to reason and goodness, we participate in this divine order. We live accordingly to natural law, which is a reflection of eternal law in our human context. So now, class, we understand that natural law isn't about nature like trees or instincts. It's about human reason and purpose. And Aquinas teaches us that We were made for good. We must form virtues through habit. We must choose based on reason, not just feelings. And most of all, our goal is to return to God, who is our highest good. And that's it for chapter 3. I hope now when you hear someone say that's unnatural, you'll know better than to just accept it blindly. Instead, think deeper. What's the reason behind that judgment? Diba? Mag-aatitsyon na kaya? And ask, is it truly wrong or just unpopular? Ethics is not about being trendy. It's about truth, reason, and the good. So, yeah, that's it for now. And see you in the next chapter.